Do you then believe in a part of the book and disbelieve in the other? What then is the reward of such among you as do this but disgrace in the life of this world, and on the day of resurrection they shall be sent back to the most grievous chastisement? And Allah is not heedless of what you do. 86 These are they who buy the life of this world for the hereafter, so their chastisement shall not be lightened, nor shall they be helped.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. Sulman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, break the 7 seals. Brothers and sisters, it's clear what that verse is talking about, because that's what they do all the time. That's what they do all the time. They start scripture, they say one verse, jump over the other one. They're not teaching Elijah Muhammad's teachings. I was there. He said, with every type of prophet or messenger comes, before the sun goes down, they start the message. They started Jesus' message, the one you call Jesus. They started, look at what's going on in the Middle East right now. Well, Prophet Muhammad's message. All this started. Got all these different sects and everything else. Same thing with Elijah. Elijah wasn't going half a second. I was there. They distorted it, changed it. In fact, they got rid of Nation of Islam and started a thing called the Babylonians. Farrakhan and Wallace together. We have proof of it. Videos. And it's total distortion. This is no way near. And the thing is that the principle, the bottom, the pillars of what Elijah, his message was based on, going home was one, God's a man. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. And those things were, we ain't going nowhere. So they calling God a liar right there. It's right there. Messenger Covenant never talks about that one. Elijah's the last one. Eternal leader, Nation of Islam. He says, no, he's prepared to wait for the Messenger Covenant. And you can't worship Master Muhammad because he's flesh. And these are primary pillars, and they're all destroyed. So we're going to, I got a lot of things I want to talk about, brothers and sisters. I'm almost positive I'm not going to be able to get through this today because it's a very long presentation here. I'll give the short versions, even then I still might not be able to. Anyway, let's proceed. These are traitors. That's it. And they know that they're lying. This lie on the left, oh, we forbid the fool with your brain, the fool with your head to tell you lies. That's all they do is lie. It's easy to prove it. Easy. That's why they never come in and want to debate me, because they know they'd be dead. It's easy to prove it lying. It's easy to prove it. Because we got tapes of Elijah Muhammad. I'm going to show you something today. He's saying one thing, Elijah Muhammad said total opposite. Total opposite. He calls them fools. One I just thought about it, I forgot to mention. I wanted to show you one where Elijah says Farrakhan would be his worst hypocrite. His worst hypocrite. If this come out of Farrakhan's mouth. So I'll get to that one maybe tomorrow. But it says they said the way what they're doing is so hateful. It's so hateful. The law says they will get the most severe. We say most. You know what most means? MOST. Most. More than any. The most severe chastisement for those who believe in part of the book and disbelieve the other. We don't twist and turn the Bible here. We teach the whole thing. Either accept it or reject it. Yes, but bad translations. But the Bible is protected. You mean Allah can't protect his word? He tells you got to believe it, and the Quran says you got to believe it was revealed before you, to you, before you. So you said you got to believe the Bible. It tells you right there. But well, that must have been, you must have been sleeping. You said that, right? Is that how it works? Well, brothers and sisters, I'm trying to keep this short, but I don't think I'm be able to. Quiet for the storm. The whole world is on edge right now. People are speaking out. I mean, these are not just normal people, right? These are people that actually talk with Trump, work for him, was in presidential administrations, and Bush administration, and so forth. These people, they know what's going on, and they're saying they're nervous. They're actually saying we're in World War III right now. If you understand World War II, it was in World War II, but a lot of people realize it because it wasn't affected here in America particularly directly. So it's happening over there. Most people have said World War III has already started. This is actually worse than World War III. They wish it was only World War III. Because World War I and World War II wasn't world wars. They say if Europeans involved, it's World War. Because it would count. It wasn't a World War. This will be. It'll be World War III. It'll be World War I. The apocalypse. The first time it actually be a global war. Global. Everybody will be impacted. There'll be no place that will not be impacted. Quiet for the storm. And what triggers it is this war in the Middle East. Been saying for years. Farrakhan, he's told to be quiet. Time of intense darkness. Remember, you've been paying him for years to guide you over the river and all that kind of stuff. Now the time comes. He's so God told him to be quiet. God, yeah, but if God did, he's talking about God, Satan. Because Satan is God of this world. Be careful when they tell you God. And Satan, look at his works. Look at the works of Christians. Is work a righteous Jesus or righteous Satan? Works of Satan. Murder, genocide, enslavement, oppression, terrorizing, constant work, wars all the time. Is that the works of Jesus or works of Satan? So you see what God they're serving. Except known by their works. So anyway, Michael's angels, that's chapter 12. Michael's angels going to war. That's Master Muhammad. He's Michael. He's going to be delivered. How he's got to be Michael. Farrakhan doesn't know that. He doesn't know anything. He said, he mentioned the war in the Middle East, and all of a sudden he went quiet. He didn't mention it after it started. And then he tried to tie it to Elijah Muhammad's birthday. It's so stupid. It's like COVID. 7 months later, in July, he speaks on it. Yet it was raging in so-called Savior Day, but he never mentioned about Kobe. Then after July, he walked around a mask, now he knows all about it. I was telling you about it way back in the beginning of the year. I told you what effect it would have, who would be affected. 100% correct. Okay, let's just play this little blasphemy here. So you decide. If you have any points, if you never heard Elijah's teachings, right? Well, you can go and read Message of the Black Man, How to Live, Fall of America, and My Savior Rise, those books. And actually, you go online now because they do have, unless it's still removed it, you can go back and look at archived Baha'u'llah newspapers. Additionally, they have a lot of videos of Elijah Muhammad on YouTube. See if that's consistent with what they're saying. I'm going to show you a couple of them now, today. See if that's consistent with those folks that are saying. They claim they're preaching Elijah Muhammad's preachings. That's a lie. And I say it again. I give anybody $1,000. $1,000, they can prove me that, prove it, to prove me personally, and they can prove that he's faithful to Elijah Muhammad's teachings and the lessons. I've been saying for years. I posted, and no one stepped up. They call me names, all this kind of stuff, because I'm slandering them. They never stepped up to that challenge, because they can't. Okay, listen, blasphemy, son of man, okay. Listen to this for a second. A few seconds.
And whether you like it or not, the new ruler is black. He have hair like lamb's wool, and he has feet like burnished brass.
Okay, full stop. They've been telling us that Master Muhammad is son of man, right? Is that his description? This is out of Farrakhan's mouth. Is that Farrakhan's description? Say less. Let you decide.
So long till they don't know the birth record. So they just say from remotest antiquity, this is the house that God used to manifest his wisdom, knowledge, understanding, and power in and through. Where is he now? Wherever he want to be. I'm not going to say I know where he is, but I'm glad his power is everywhere. I think I know where he is. I don't want to say because I could be wrong, but he's wherever he wishes to be. Are we to pray and worship Master Farad Muhammad? You don't worship the flesh of any man because the flesh is going to die. But in that flesh is a wisdom and a power superior to any human being on the earth. So when we look to Allah in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, we look to him. And when he ain't no longer here, the power is going to be here. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said he would live a minimum of 400 years, but 400 years ain't no time. He'll be gone. But before he goes, the foundation of what he lays will never be erased from the planet. That's a God. He prays. He prays. He don't pray to himself. You don't say, surely I have turned myself to me. Who does he pray to? He prays in remembrance of him who originated that which he came in. He came in this body. You can't ignore him who originated this. Anyway, it's deep. It's a big subject. I want to say to my Muslim brothers, when I was in Mecca, I was there for 3 days.
Enough of that. You decide. Now, Elijah Muhammad made it very clear, God's a man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He says, no. But Master Muhammad's God, but he prays to something that's not a God, that's not flesh. So, what is that, ultra God, extra God? I don't know. He's saying it. But you know, if you like to, go read Hebrews 7. Hebrews 7. Melchizedek. Said Melchizedek, because he says no beginning of days, no end of life. So that means he never was created. He's always existed. Melchizedek. But they say definitively, he's not like a man. They say he is a man. Hebrews 7. So you decide. He's a man that Abraham bowed to. Abraham didn't bow to no one but God, right? So Abraham bowed to this person, Melchizedek. The beginning of days, no end of life. And he says, this man. So you decide. And see, and then this person, see, and remember, he's telling you that Master Elijah Muhammad never said, I can say definitively because I was there. I'm 76 years old. I was in 20s at the time. I can say definitively Elijah Muhammad, right? Made very clear God's man. Very clear. And so, like I said, you decide. Like I said, I was there. Very clear on the subject. Okay. Now, Farrakhan is saying, I mean, what Winter says, Elijah Muhammad never said Master Muhammad prayed to anybody. He said he didn't sleep. He paced the floor at night for 8 hours reciting history, right? Which I interpret being the Quran, but he said he recited history back and forth. And that's one of the things, right? He said he could never catch him sleep, so he was repeating people, and Master Mom could tune in and say, "Brother, go back to sleep." You know he was there. So he never prayed to anybody. In fact, the whole time I was there from 775, we never had any prayer meetings, anything like that. I mean, they would open the sermon, right, with prayer. We didn't have no Friday prayers, and we didn't do all that kind of stuff. In fact, I had a little book talking about a prayer. I didn't even see that till I was in about 3 years. Somebody showed me this little book or something. I don't know how long it's been there, whatever. So I'm not saying he didn't say pray. I didn't say that, right? But it wasn't something that was talked about, and we didn't do group prayers. I know he said when you do pray, you should pray standing up with your hand. Give a picture. Pray stand up with your hands out like you see them they do. But so you decide. I was there, so I know. So the idea of Master Muhammad prayer, means if you're God, who do you pray to? Gods don't pray. If they're praying to somebody, they're not the God. Whoever they're praying to must be the God. Anyway, the person he says you pray to, that Master I'm praying to, he's not flesh. And they'll only tell you what his name is, who he is, or what he is, male, female, whatever. And to go beyond that, they'll even tell you he's 72 trillion years dead because the Quran says from one being all life came. For one being all life came, so all of us came from this one being, the animals and everything. That's no story together. One being all life came. And so that person said, they used to talk about it for years, it originator. Now it's all of a sudden Master Muhammad. I know what it is, but I'm not going to go into it. Originator. Right. Even so, the originator is 72 trillion years dead. Now, actually, we are the seed. We are that, but that's another story altogether. But he's not telling you to pray to that. He's praying to pray to the remembrance of them. Now, how can you pray to them? You're not even praying to a being. This is he said it is deep. What it is deep. You're not even trying to pray to a being. He said praying to remembrance of some being. What is that? A remembrance? What? That's what he said. You be right. You be the judge, and it's here. He's taking time. Oh, God would do this and God would do that. God does. He have a goddamn clue what God would do and won't do. See, these people make me sick with that crap. Well, God never lie. How come he can't lie? He can lie if he wants to. He can lie if he wants to. Everything came from, right? So the point, he created liars, so he knows what lying is. He can recognize a lie, right? The Quran tells you that people get misled, that do not believe it, so who's misleading them? Or he can't do any evil. Well, if he created everything, where the evil comes from then? If he's perfect, where the evil comes from? If everything is by his will, then if nothing is done without the will of Allah, that means the evil is done is his will. You see, this shit just falls apart when you think about it. Nothing happens without the will of Allah. Well, how's the evil happening? That means it must be his will. That means he can't do evil. If he's lying, that's the will of Allah. It means Allah can lie then. They give a good example right there that you missed, that they can't own up to, is by Adam. Adam was making millions shed blood, so why did God put him in charge? And then condemn the one that was refused to submit to wickedness. Condemn Iblis. He said, hey man, I'm with you, God. I'm gonna do what you tell me to do. I'm gonna follow your orders. I'm gonna follow the righteous way. He said, nah, you follow Adam. He's making millions shed blood. What the hell was that about? And then he said, I ain't gonna do it. Well now, I'm gonna condemn your ass. How do you explain that one? You be the judge. How do you explain that one? If God, you put limits on what God can do or can't do. He had no idea what God can do or cannot do. Because if he did, he'd be God himself. That's his stupid ass idea, what God can do or what can't do. His dumb ass idea. He has no idea. You're going to find in a minute, though, what God can do to him. Most severe chastisement. God can't do or can't do. How you know? God can do anything he wants to do. God has all the attributes of all this creation. Because all creation came from him. One being came all life. That means he has all the attributes, the DNA of all this creation within him. He turns it on and off as he will. That's why he called him a lamb one time and called him a god, a god another time. A lion, rather. A lamb, or he can do whatever he wants to be. So he tells you, obey Adam. Why would you tell somebody's going to make, and then he's with Adam. He's going to support Adam. He's going to be behind Adam. He's going to support Adam. He's going to strength. Adam wouldn't have any strength unless God gave it to him. So you say, and Adam is doing the will of God. Make people shed blood. What is that? That's what he's doing. He told me, follow my guidance. I know you're gonna make men shed blood. That's why I'll put the world in your hands. They tell angels, you got Smith. I said, well, I got Smith. Somebody gonna make men shed blood, man. What's up with this? If I'm gonna do that, how is he gonna teach me to do? He have me. I got Smith him. I mean, I'm even a tool for him to make men shed blood. Yet God said, okay, no, that's what that's what you do. So you're doing God's will. And the one that said, I'm not going to do that, you ain't doing God's will, and God condemn you. So explain that with your dumb ass. He hadn't, I got it. A, B, C, D, E, F, E, F. I'm staying away. But it's hard to keep away from these fools. You got to listen to him Sunday. Our God would do this. God, he has no idea. He just shut up. Just a fool. All that philosophy stuff he's talking about. God won't do this, and you depend on. No, God really wants to do. He says he does as he will. It says right in the Quran. No limits. If he wants to lie, he can lie. If he wants to lie, I'll say he will. I'm not saying he's a liar. Tell a lie don't make you a liar. If somebody's trying to harm me, something like that, I tell a lie gonna save me. I ask, yeah, I'm a lie. If I didn't, I'd be like Esau. Well, you don't love life, boy? I gave life and you want to defend it? That whole thing, that's the backstory behind Esau. It's the same thing again. See? Jacob was a wicked guy based on your idea. Lying, stealing, making up stuff, ripping off people. That's what Jacob was doing. But God said, I love Jacob. Why he love Jacob? Somebody doing all this stuff. Tricked his brother, tricked his father. But he said he loved him, but he didn't, but that's who he cursed. Esau. Esau was the oldest. He didn't. So God said, oh, I'm gonna pick Jacob over you. Because you didn't appreciate life. You sold your inheritance for a bowl of soup. I mean, my inheritance, my lawyer says oldest gets the inheritance, and you get this great thing I'm gonna give you. Because remember, Esau was supposed to inherit the whole world. Remember, he's the top dog, if you want to put it that way. And he got hungry. He said, okay, man, hell with that, man. He said, you got anything to eat, Jacob? Yeah, man, I give you some soup. If you tell me, if you give me your inheritance. And he said, okay, man. He did it. And God honors contracts. So he didn't give a damn about the gift that God would have for him. So God said, well, hell with you then. And Jacob, he cares about it. He wants it. He loves it. And so I'm going to be with him. Yeah, he may be lying and stealing everything else. But he loves what I have to offer. And you don't. Explain that one, fool. Explain that one. That's why a grievous chastisement, because, you know, there's so many people going to be, and especially sisters, they're going to be lack of knowledge because of fools like this. Lack of knowledge. Lack of what type of knowledge? You got to ask yourself what type of knowledge. Everybody has knowledge. Correct knowledge. I'm going to show you that in a minute. Fools like this. Dummy. That's why it's the most severe chastisement is prepared for these guys, because they're causing great damage. At a time of unprecedented trouble, with total darkness, you don't be out there a little cigarette lighter, right? Come on, I got the light, and you walking off a damn cliff. You see, taking a lot of people with you. You should be looking for a light instead of trying to pretend you are the light. At least people know you ain't the light. At least they can keep looking. Follow your dumb ass. I can barely see. But you see clearly when you fall off that cliff, won't you?
I gotta do this. Do you mind? Yes, I'm gonna do something. I don't want to put my brother on the spot. See, this is this. This is something else. Love and faith transcends color. And the reason why we embrace Father Flager as a brother is because we find him on the battlefield of justice, being a true disciple of Jesus. And the last thing I'll say is you'll never call us racist.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Because this day that we honor
Yes, sir.
Master Fard Muhammad, if you see an image of him, put his image up.
Yes, sir.
That's the man whose father was a black man and his mother a Caucasian. And how many of us have a parent that's a Caucasian or grandparent? It's not about color. It's about our submission to the will of God. And in that we find common ground and unity.
Yes, sir.
So I'm only one shade lighter than you. And Mustafa may be 4 more shades lighter. We a family.
Yes, sir.
Let's stay a family and be a family and love each other as God would have us to love each other. We love you, Father. Happy Savior's Day. Thank you. I had to do that. We love you.
One more time, brother.
Okay, that don't make you sick, bro. Says you can't be sick. You're sick proof. There's nowhere near, even close to what Elijah Muhammad taught. Elijah Muhammad would have a stroke if he came and saw that. Total blasphemy. All that's blasphemy. They don't just twist Elijah Muhammad. They just totally shit on Elijah Muhammad's teaching because that's, you know. I mean, you know, they didn't even have devils in the FY uniforms in MGT, you know that. That's not Elijah Muhammad's teaching. Now, show me anything and anything that he wrote, a tape, or anything to support what he just said there. Even close. Show anything. I just shut up. Show me anything. Unless it's clearly devils. The Bible says they're all wicked, all evil, none are good, no, not one. Then Pharaoh comes, well, that's the whole world. See, he can say anything because it says the son of perdition says the people that were lost with him because they didn't love the truth. What truth he talking about? I try to explain what truth is. Truth of these times. They didn't love the truth because the truth is he's a liar. Show me anything that supports that kind of stuff. Nothing. Let's don't support it. Devils ain't devils anymore. Got to read the Cotel, or whatever, I forget the FBI report. He gave him everything he wanted. So you be the judge. You be the judge. And one of the punishments they're going to get, I said the other day, I'm not going to say it again. But they love Father Flager. See how much they love him. See how much they love him in a minute. Because all those clowns, the end is shocking. And we talking about days away, brothers and sisters. We're not talking about months. Well, we're talking about sometime between now and October. Could be days. It will happen while this war is going on. What happened while this war is going on? Sometime between now and the time that America and Britain was thrown out of the Middle East. The accuser of our brethren is cast down. He's the accuser, Farrakhan's the accuser. It's sinful. You got to atone. You're wicked. No. We was told to submit to Adam. We did. So who's the real Muslim? See, that gets back to the other thing, right? I'm going to talk about that in a minute. The Muslims, everybody's confused. Everybody's make up stuff. It's like a house of cards. You put one card out, and the whole damn thing collapses. Okay. A Muslim so submit entirely to the will of Allah. What they say? So the the angels that submit to Adam, they were the Muslim. The bliss said, no, I'm gonna stick with the program. Well, they're not Muslim, are they? They still got Mecca. They still got the Quran. They still got Arabia. They still got the Kaaba. They still got all of those stuff over there. But they ain't gonna submit to Adam. I don't want democracy. I ain't saying that stuff is good. It's bad. But he was told to submit to it. Democracy, capital, all that stuff is bad. But he was told to submit to it. Square circle. How does that make sense? Unless God's the devil or something, but then I was the angel say you love him. See, that's why they put that word in there. Because if they didn't put anything about the angel says, yeah, we love you and we honor you and everything else, then you kind of think, man, that's Yaqub then. Because that's the only thing would make sense, right? But no, the angel said that's God speaking. That's God speaking. That's not Yaqub. Because the angel said, we submit to you, we adore you and so forth, right? So how does that happen like that? So they submitted to a wicked ruler. They said, Adam's the whole unit. How's Adam all humanity? Is all humanity ruling the planet? No, Europeans are ruling the planet. There's only two world empires that's doing it. Gog and Magog. Who's the only two European world? The true only world empires only that you know about is America and Britain. That's Gog and Magog. Chapter 20 come out of Dark Ages. That's what chapter 20 is European history. That's what they hide from us. It's the future. No, that's their history. Gog and Magog came out. The two world empires deceive the whole world. And they'll be destroyed. What? When they go around the holy city to Jerusalem, that's about to be destroyed right now. They're about to be destroyed now. But that's what it is. So the angels, okay, submit. That means they be under the authority of a wicked people that's forcing them into equal actions. But the jinn said, man, we ain't doing that stuff. We're going to hold on to things like they were. And so it's the only nation on the planet that has that attitude are the Sunnis over there. We don't want your capitalism. We don't want your democracy. We don't want your government. We want any of that stuff. We got it all. Greet Smiths 100%. So who's the real Muslim then? Sound like we are. They can hold their nose up at us. They betrayed us. That's no story together. They hold their nose at us, right? Like we shit. They get so skin lightness. Don't tell me they don't do it, right? Because I was married to an Arab woman many years ago, for a few years. I had a daughter, and she fled away with my daughter, took her back to the Middle East, right? When she was still a baby, about 3 years old, I guess, something like that. And she was dark as me. I can show you the picture. So I got in touch. So she found it. She got in touch with me a few years back. And she's white. I said, "You want to do a DNA? Because are you the same person? You're white now." See, a lot of them over there, they're skin whiteness. A lot of them just like because they, over time they prefer that. But Prophet Muhammad was black, and I can prove it. And all about the Arabs, real Arabs, or they were dark. And that's part of, I don't say I'm getting sidetracked here. That's part of deception. They part of deception over there, keep false Israel. They don't want that. Because they don't want us, they betrayed us over here, and they don't want us to come back and get what we take, because that's the prophecy that we're going to take back what they took from us. So that's why, that's what I'm going to show you in a minute. That's one of the reasons why they ain't doing anything to false Israel, because they want false, see that they got a bind there. False Israel is going to take everything they got from them, because they're not related to them. They are half brothers. They betrayed us. But they don't want to, that's why paying Farrakhan to stop telling us we're going home. That's why Farrakhan said we're not going anyway. Like Muhammad said, that's where we're going. God says it's right in the scripture. But they paid him to stop them saying that stuff. They actually paying them. I prove that too. So the thing is that so to keep that lie going, because they want to say, they want to, they don't want to identify with us, because they know we spent the 400 years here. The prophecy is us. We're gonna go back to that land. They're fighting that prophecy. They became our enemy. So they trying. The whole idea is to make us forget who we are. That's the whole idea. Take the vision away, or people without a vision perish. Take a vision away and everything, so we don't know who we are. Because we can't come back and take what's belonged to us, and we don't know who we are, and that something was taken from us. Or if you had a house and boat and all that kind of stuff, you get amnesia, somebody took from you, how would you know? You wouldn't want to take advantage. You don't know. You never had. No, you ain't had it. You don't know who you are. And that's the whole idea. And so part of the reason to keep us confused is they claiming that false Israel is their brother. Is their Isaac. That's why they got white, so they can see, we all white. But if they was black, they didn't have to say, oh, they couldn't be because they white, we black. They black, so we must be the real seed of Abraham. That price must belong to us. That means we're gonna come back and take our land back from them. You get the point? Move on, bro. So I got a little sidetracked there. I mean, I could talk all these different subjects. I can talk all day on each one of them. I'm just giving you some short. I just give you a short version. That's the deal. It's a whole conspiracy there, and they're all in on it. They sold. Remember the story of Joseph? That's that story of us. They sold us in slavery because they knew we was going to rule. So we didn't want to submit to Adam. So we're going to get the reward, because that's what's happened. It said we served them, but they'd be judged for afflicting us. It said, don't afflict them. And they afflict us. Who's enslaved in them, but slavery doesn't include rape, murder, terrorism, all that kind of stuff. They went beyond slavery. Because they had slavery in Africa, but serving slavery, it was servitude. You serve, you want to rip your slave, raping you, all that kind of stuff. You understand what I'm saying, brothers and sisters? That's the deal. So that's why they're saying that. So we're going to get to that in a minute, right? So, so that clown, and the punch he's going to get is, it's going to be awesome. Now the devil's, he's their brother, our brother. He's their brother. He's a demon. We know he is not, Ishmael's not a demon. Traitor. It's no story altogether. But the punishment they're going to get is like I said, most severe. Let me move on, brother and sister, because I said I'm going to cut a few of these things. Some of them elaborate a little more than the other. The thing is, she has to first understand how the universe works. The universe opens and closes like the Quran says. And says that all the heavens and earth was one. It means all the energy I did used to be here. So you can't imagine how much energy was here when all the universe was the atmosphere of our planet. You can't imagine. It was like a superstar that you can't even imagine. That's why we have all the elements. That's another story. But as you expand, it means less energy here. So it got to the point where the energy was very low. Because you need energy for everything. You need energy to have a relationship, energy to breathe, energy to bat your eyes, energy to go to the bathroom, energy to eat, energy to think. Energy for everything. So the less energy you have, the less ability you have to do those things. Energy to maintain civilization. We got to the point where we could not maintain civilization anymore. We couldn't even maintain ourselves back. The worst part was back in the 1860s, where we got to the point where we couldn't even maintain ourselves anymore. We was total. Our minds was gone, our bodies gone, our names was gone, everything was gone. We couldn't control that. We had no we had no connection with our women. There was under devil's control. We was under devil's control total, the children, everything. Because we had no energy to maintain it. But the devils did. Why did they have it? Because that's we made them. That's why that's what Adam was. Because he was a knockoff of us. He was a derivative of us. Right? Because like who's a Lamborghini? He said, well, we can't afford a Lamborghini anymore, man. We don't have enough money to support it. This much money we making, it takes this much. We don't have to afford it, man. We have no money for gas, insurance, all that kind of stuff, right? Let's do a knockoff. Let's strip it down. Take all the accessories and everything out. Just have a steering wheel and tires on right? So now you got a Volkswagen Beetle. Okay, don't take much energy to do that. So now I can get around. I'm in a Volkswagen Beetle, but I can get around. I can do stuff now. I can have a party. I can get around, move around. Because now I got extra money. I only have, if it take me $1,000 a week, a month to take care of this Lamborghini, and all I make is $1,000, that's all going to Lamborghini. But it only take $100 a month to take care of that Volkswagen Beetle. I got $900 to deal with. I can party. That's how it did behind Adam. That's why it make them shed blood, because he's a knockoff of us. He's weak. That's where the word wicked comes from. So that's how he got ruled, because he had enough power. It'd be bad rule, but it'd be rule. Bad was better than no water. So he ruled, but he ruled in a wicked way, but he ruled. Otherwise, it'd be total chaos. Because now you got deserts now, because that's why it's having deserts. All you got to do is go look and see that place wasn't a desert. That place was a paradise before. That's where all the oil comes from. All is the result of decayed biological matter. Just look it up. That means that place had to be a paradise for all those animals and plants that have died over millions of years to put all that much oil in the ground. So the place be paradise. That place was paradises. But now, as energy, they become deserts. Earth has less energy to produce. So you got dead, then you got, the earth cools off. Less energy, earth cools off. So you got polar caps. Because the earth cooling off. Got deserts, famine, all this kind of stuff. So less food. So therefore now that's capitalism comes in. Because now, hey, you got to start farming now. Before you had to farm, earth just produces all this stuff. That's paradise. Now you got to farm first earth to do it. See? So you got to find some land. Most of the land is all dry. You can't. Desert, most deserts you got to find. That's why America was preserved, and they got deserts here too. But there was a piece of land here in America where they still had preserved, kept people away from it. They had the American so-called natives, but that was the last hope. And they put Adam in charge of it, and so now everybody needs food and everything. They got to come to Adam for it. Adam said, "Okay, if you want, you got to farm for me. You get it? You got to farm. You want some food." Capitalism. And so and he determined how much food he give you for how much work you did. Is that too complicated to understand? That's capitalism for this type of system. When it's not was less, not that much. Only a little bit of land, but you got to farm to do it. And they say, okay, you want some food, you got to bring it over here, and you got to farm if you want to get it. Because somebody's got to do it. Agricultural age. But now we start coming out of it. In the 1860s, start being energized. Every 50 years, we get an energy wave. Momentum from heaven and earth come all of a sudden. But get back to this climate change. See, the thing is that, remember, this reality, this fake reality that came as this 6,000 years ago, it's a 12,000 year period. It was at the bottom of 1860. We got another probably 6,000 years, and we'll be told out of it. That's why Elijah Muhammad said, the kingdom be given to a made God, someone like the Son of Man. That's what's in ancient days. It was like the Son of Man. It wasn't the Son of Man, it was like. He'd be given charge of the kingdom. That's why Muhammad be charge of the kingdom for the next 6,000 years. Not him personally, but and then return back to the doctrine of Shabazz, that tribe of Shabazz. Because he said the original God is more powerful than the made gods. He had to be taught. That's no story together. But he's faithful. We could let the devils do it for another 6,000 years. Hope you understand that. That's why he's derivative. He's half Caucasian, half original. So therefore, he's not a full-blown Lamborghini, but he ain't a Volkswagen B leader. He's a BMW. Okay, you get it? That's the deal. So climate change, remember, this reality is built on of the winter, so to speak, right? Winter. So if you build your house off the winter, you're going to build igloos, right? You're going to have icicles are going to be your weapons and all that kind of stuff. See? Snow, more snow you got, all this. You see what I'm saying? You're hunting down polar bears. That's your winter reality. But now if the spring comes in, all this stuff starts going bad. And you're like, man, global warming. You get it? Well, we can't have that, man. It's going to be disastrous to us. Global warming. Global warming is because the universe energy is coming back now. That's what's causing it. He is destroying their reality. But for spring people, that's what you want. Spring people say, man, bring on the heat. You get it? You understand? Climate change is bad for them because this reality is based off of winter technology. Go up there where the Eskimos are. See what that technology is. They wouldn't survive in Africa. So they think about climate change. Yeah, it's going to destroy their whole reality because it's based on winter reality. Snow and everything's going to melt. And they want to try to stop it. That's what it is. But it's in your favor. Because it's going to destroy all this stuff. Because it's going to destroy the snow. It's going to destroy the icebergs. It's going to destroy all that stuff. That's good for you. It ain't good for them. But it's good for you. And so long as you keep talking, we, yeah, you're going to die. Talking about we. These demons and these Negro butts. Man, we gotta do this, man. And we in Russia, and we. Okay, well, maybe you are we. If you're a demon, you are we. You pick us up, we. That's the deal, brothers and sisters. Climate change is in our favor because it's destroying. That's what they said. Climate change is going to destroy our reality. Yeah, it's going to destroy the reality. Their reality has been destroyed from every aspect, economically, socially, technologically, right? Governmentally, religiously, whole thing is coming apart. They're attacking every front because it's over. Winter's over. Spring is coming in now. Spring is in our favor. We was freezing our ass off in the winter, so we had to go there and Can you tell me what I do? What how to handle? You know, when I was living in Chicago, right? It's funny, man. God, you know, I jogged every day, right? And so we lived off of King Drive, I think, right? Well, off the lake, and real cold winters, right? I mean, winter was really, I mean, every winter's cold, right? But I go out, I wouldn't even think about, because I thought about I wouldn't go because it's so cold out there, right? I just put my clothes on. Don't the people, you know, you put your toe in the pool. No, I don't do that. I do that when you go out, right? I have all my clothes on, man. I got 2 layers, 3 layers of clothes, right? I run about 5 miles along the lake, right? I go out there, man. I run along the lake. Hear my white boy run along. He ain't got nothing on, pair of shorts and a damn t-shirt. Damn. What is that? You know, in Russia, they do that. They go out there in the cold, and they take all their clothes off and jump in the river. That's the kind of thing they do. Because it's cold on bottoms like they do us. You know what I'm saying? So now the spring come in, get sunburned, man. Yeah, well, you gonna get sunburned, man. Me, I'm black and I'm proud. Understand, we gotta understand these things, brothers and sisters. They can't stop climate change. Because that's what climate change is. The polar caps, if you look at polar caps, go check it out. I tell you, don't take my word for anything. Go check it out. And the polar caps, they got all kinds of vegetation and everything else. They showed the polar caps wasn't always cold as the earth cooled off because the energy was going out. It cooled off. So now you got ice on both corners of the earth. Ice on the north and south pole. Before it used to be vegetation and everything else. All that stuff is going to melt. When it melts, the water level is going to rise. A lot of these cities that was built on low water levels, remember, New York, one of these places, they're going to be drowned because now the water level is going to rise up like it was before we had energy deprivation, because their whole side is built on this state of the universe, this state of the world as it is now. So now when it starts reversing back, all those coastal cities are going to be drowned. Hope you understand, brothers. Let's move on to the next one. Climate change, right? So I just showed that. Two poles. Because the Earth got colder, plus the way they situated, they get less sun. So it got cooler. It heats up, right? All of a sudden the poles are gone. Water level's going to rise up. More fresh water. The thing is like I mentioned before, right? Remember I said all that oil underground because it came from biological decay, biological matter. That's what happens when you're dead. That's why I tell people don't put in caskets, put in the ground, because that's what it's recycling. Because now you know you right. But the point is, after millions of years, you got all that oil under the ground. And so we said, when we make Adam, we're gonna give him oil. We don't tell him, we don't give him our technology, because we'd never get rid of him. We said give him a technology that requires use of oil. They get that oil out of the ground, because remember, most of your drinking water doesn't come from the ocean. It comes from underground rivers. Did you know you got rivers underground? Why do you think about wells and stuff like that? Where did they get that water from? Rocks. You got underground rivers. That's where most of all your drinking water comes from. But now all that oil builds up over now. It's a threat that they mix. Then all your drinking water is going. Then we got a problem. So we said, okay, give Adam that as a technology. And so they spent the last 5 years, the last 20 years, right, getting that stuff out of the ground. That's it. But it's going to run out after a while. See, get that stuff out of the ground before it mixes in with the drinking water. I said, everything was planned, brothers and sisters. We left nothing unplanned. There's no way the devils could win. And we didn't have to make them begin with, did we? So we're going to make something that we don't have a problem with. Come on, brothers and sisters. Okay, investment, energy management. This is another one here. Look at this one. let's see. It talks about this tree you have to cut down. And so I need to elaborate now a little bit more. See, the thing is, right now, it says, say if you're a billionaire, right? You don't have to worry about no budget, do you? You don't have to worry about a budget. You got so much money, man. You have to make sure you don't lose it and nothing happen to it. But you ain't really sitting around trying, well, how much money I'm going to spend for this? How much money I got to spend for dinner? How much money I got to spend for lunch? How much money I got to spend to pay the rent? How much money I got to spend to buy clothes? You don't even think on that level. But if you're down here working at Popeyes and McDonald's, you got a budget, man. I only make $100 a week, man, but I got to pay rent. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to be careful. Otherwise, you mess around and be homeless or be hungry or naked or whatever, because you got to budget your money, because you got to have that much. The more less money you have, the more you got to budget. Very careful. So right now, we're still in the budgeting stage. It's not as bad as it used to be. When we was in hard costs, we had no money. Devils controlled everything. But now we have enough energy to come out of it. The problem is we don't know how to manage it. Mismanagement. And that's why I'm here to teach you how to manage your energy. Because you have enough, but they teach you to mismanage it, because as long as you mismanage, they can keep controlling you. Because if you stop managing energy, they have no control of you anymore. So the thing is that it takes, but for Suleiman, the reason we told he to cut the tree down, because the point is that he has a job to do, and it takes energy to maintain that tree, and you're not getting anything back. If you invest in making an investment, you put $100 a week in, and you get nothing back. You say, what kind of investment is that? I'm putting $100 a week, and I'm getting $10 back. How long will you keep that investment? See what I'm saying? That's where investment works. You're supposed to get something back more than you put in, or at least what you put in. If you get less, that's where it's at. That's that form of resistance. So you're hurting yourself. You're wasting your energy. It's a bad investment. That's why I said cut tree down. So as a point, you went overboard. You kept on investing. After 4 or 5 years, you're not getting a return on your investment. Cut it down, because your investment, energy is being wasted, and we're on a budget now, and then you can be using that in a better. Because if your whole mission is to get information to people, and you're wasting like that, then means you're not getting your mission accomplished, because they're sucking up your energy, diverting your energy. That's the same thing as resistance. How could they call it the same thing? Same thing with resistance. It's anything that resists going to be destroyed. See? That's energy management. Another thing about energy management, I heard somebody say, man, I had even one of my children. I just go to Africa. I said, okay. You think that's right? See, you're talking about the quality of energy. It's about the quality of energy. Like I said, $1 million shit farm is worth $1 million gold mine. Both worth $1 million. One's shit and one's gold. So if the devil say, I got $1 million, well, the only thing I'll let you buy is a shit farm. That's the only thing you can invest in. Well, okay, you got a shit farm. I'm a millionaire, but I got to smell shit and dig shit all the time. I don't want that. But that's the only thing I can invest in, put money in, because they control the quality. Like, remember, you can only live in the ghetto. You only live here. Section 8, you only do is do that. You see what I'm saying? They control the quality of your energy. That's one of the reasons why I get the hell out of here. And that's what hell is. If you understand the Quran clearly, right? Hell, people in energy, hell can have a lot of energy. But why would you want to have a lot of money, right, on an island with nothing but shit, then all you can buy is shit? What good is that? Because the point is, hell is we're going to restrict them in a place where there won't, like a desert, a place where there won't be any fresh vegetables and shade. They said there won't be any shade, right? So put in a place like put them in a desert. lock them into a desert where there's no clean water. Right? No. Because it said the place where Jesus said in the Bible said the place where they have garbage, with no garbage. Oh, basically it put in its simplest form, we're going to put them in a garbage dump. And hell is where we're going to dump all our garbage. Someplace way in North Europe, like Siberia, somewhere around there. Right? It won't be cold during this time. And it says when their skins are burned, skins will be healed. So every time the skin, that means they're going to be a lot of energy. They're going to be very healthy. So even if they eat shit, it won't hurt them because their body's so healthy, so strong, and get them over it. So think about that. Say you're healthy, so healthy that you can eat shit and it doesn't kill you because you're so healthy, your body's so strong. Why would you want that? So they want to die and they won't be able to. That's where they're going to be. That's hell. Because everybody gets the same amount of energy. If this much, in fact, they don't have more energy than us because they don't need as much. But the point is they be locked, so they be put and locked in there where they can't get out. And so the only food they're going to have is each other. Okay. No clean water. This probably, that's what it said. They're going to be drinking that. It says it right in the Quran, if you understand it. And crap. And each other. That's hell. So the point I want to make here is that you got the 5 pillars. Well, that shows you how to manage your energy. But the discipline comes, right? From here, you have to use discipline to apply that, right? So this one person, man, I know he was thinking, okay, I ain't got to listen to that because when the hell breaks loose, tribulation, right? I'm going to have total control, discipline over energy. Yeah. But you still be here. How you going to get out of here? Can you swim to Arabia? They burn this place up. You still be here. You still be here. So you think that's going to stop the fire from burning? Because you still be here. That's one stage of it. You got to get out of here. That's why I told you that. I'm talking about in a minute. That Master Muhammad has to deliver you out here. So he's the one, right? Suleiman just gives you information, gives you tickets to get on the train. But if you don't get tickets, you can't get on the train. And that's why I said you had to be in the Lamb's Book of Life. So you think you're so smart, you go ahead, all these people, they think they got it, man. I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. I said go a lot more, but I got a few more things I got to cover here. A bunch of things, actually. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it all today. Energy management, right? 5 pillars show you how to manage your energy because you got to get a certain level to get the hell out of here. You got to get a certain mental level to get out of here. Because when you get there, the way people, you have to be able to communicate. I put it like that. Islam is mathematics, Islam. So you got to speak on that level. Otherwise, you're going to be an ape in the zoo. And that, I mean that literally. Right? There's many phases. One of the reasons why we was put over here. So these so-called wise people, they can't just come back in like they want to. Because you got to come in through a tribulation. Right? Okay, that's one test. That means you got to overcome this. Okay, put it this way: you got to overcome this reality. I said, if I grab into the vortex, guys, people think, well, that's just America. No, it's whole reality. So you run to Africa, that's part of still reality because they still think it the same way. Because you go over there, you don't know who they are. That's Esau. And when you understand who Esau is, they are twin brother. But they want to cut. They want to cut your throat. Because you don't understand who's what. You don't understand the quality of energy. What's going on here? That's why you need an angel. Think I'm just running all the place. No, you're still in this reality. You got to kill this. This is the core of it. But you got to overcome this reality. And that's what the angel does. Get you to overcome this reality. You're talking about quantity and quality. I keep telling you, it's quantity and quality. You're trying to overcome the quantity and you run into the quality. You overcome the quality, you run into the quantity. You overcome both of them. So you overcome that. right? All kinds of reality, gravitational vortex. Once you do that, and that's part of going to tribulation, and you got to get that from Suleiman. 5 pills and all that. Then you got to get transportation, right? That's from Muhammad. It's another layer. Then once you get transportation there, then you got to go through the judgment. Our particular judgment, which is Suleiman again. Because you got to be in the Lamb's Book of Life. So he's separated into 2 groups. Everlasting life, everlasting shame, and apartment. So you ain't gonna just walk in because we know we got energized, we're gonna have some powerful, we're gonna be dealing with gods. Potential gods, put it that way. Because that's what Harkos turns all into gods. But now you got to come to understand if you, okay, say somebody give you $1 billion, you got to learn how to control that $1 billion, otherwise it's worthless. So now you got the nature of gods, but you don't have the quality yet. You got the quantity, you don't have the quality. If that makes sense to you. Come on, brothers and sisters. Energy management. Let's go to the next one here. Oh, I'm not against this, brothers and sisters, because that's a little more. Okay, I'm going to play this, brothers and sisters. Then I'll talk about it afterwards. See, this is how people lost for lack of knowledge. His sister got a lot of, she's a smart sister. You can tell she's smart. Because these clowns out here, like Farrakhan's folks, all those that group, they're gonna be laughing. They're gonna be laughing very much. They're gonna be much longer. Daniel and Jim and all this kind, and all these Ben Necks and this guy called Solomon Man, all this kind of stuff. Okay? They feel the hell as garbage. That's what I mean by lack of knowledge. It don't mean they don't have any knowledge, they have knowledge. It's just confused knowledge. As you can see, they done poured all this stuff in their head. Sister mean well. Because you see the spirit of is that I'm black, I'm proud, we're going back home. That's the spirit. But she can't achieve it with this garbage they gave her. So I'll talk about it afterwards. That's about 10 minutes, I think.
Till then, let's dive right into it. I'll be back.
If you believe in the Bible, answer these questions. Now, only one answer. I don't need no you lost or you dumb or none of that shit. Just answer my questions, please. Now, all these answers should match because y'all all believe the same book. So in the Bible, it says Adam and Eve were the first people on this earth, right? But then how did all other races evolve? The 2 Caucasian people or whatever race they was, how could they possibly make other races? And better yet, wouldn't we all be related? Another question, Noah's Ark.
My guy, honestly, it kind of make me sad how nobody in the comments can answer this man's questions, but I can. All right, so first what you messed up at is when you brought up Adam and Eve and saying how 2 Caucasians can make other races. Let's start off by saying Adam and Eve was not white, they was not Caucasian. But 2 black people can make other races, which is called the Eve gene. You can just go read up on that yourself. Not to mention the oldest bone found in the world is from a black woman. Now let's get to the book of Enoch, which was taken out of the Bible. The book of Enoch was taken out of the Bible because it was rejected by the Jews, because it contained prophecies pertaining to Christ. Now let's get into how other races was really made while using the Bible. Scientists honestly proved that the Bible was real without even knowing it, honestly, when they found out about the Neanderthal DNA. I do not know if y'all know about the fallen angels. Everybody in this world was black to start off with. The fallen angels were sent down here to watch over the people. But instead, they started having sexual intercourse with the people. With the fallen angels having sexual intercourse with the people and disobeying God, they had kids and created giants, which then giants started to have kids, which created Nephilims. And when them Nephilims began to have kids, they created Neanderthals, which scientists proved that Neanderthals did exist, which then the Neanderthals began to have kids. And not only that, where those people was living, there was a lot of sun. The Neanderthals couldn't take the heat. So they hibernated to the Caucasus Mountains, which then the Neanderthals began to have kids, which began to create this. Caucasians were made, not born. It's a mutation. Also, and since you talked about the bloodline, God speaks about how after the third or fourth generation, you lose a certain bloodline. Kind of like if a black person have a kid with a white person. That kid is 50% black, 50% white. Then say that kid goes back to a black person. Now that kid is going to be 75% black, 25% white. Then after that kid goes back to a black person, that kid is still going to have an itsy bitsy piece of a white DNA. But after that kid goes back to a black person, the white has disappeared and is soon to go back to its natural race. And it's soon to go back to its natural race. So sooner or later, that whole bloodline will be wiped out. So think about where that bloodline will be at after thousands of years has passed. You had a lot of questions, so now I got to make a part 2.
Be related? Another question, Noah's Ark. So y'all truly believe that Noah grabbed 2 of each animal and put them on a boat and none of them ate each other? Y'all call me a deceiver and an antichrist for not believing in something that obviously doesn't make sense. So I just want to know, how do we repopulate after Noah's Ark if God flooded the whole entire planet and only Noah and his family survived? Y'all saying that Noah's our ancestors? So you telling me this guy right here, including me, and this guy have the same ancestor and we're all related? I really want to see what answer y'all can give me for that. Just think about how you sound while you're typing it. Another question, if heaven and hell is real, you have to die to go to heaven and hell.
My guy, so you truly believe that if God could speak to Noah and his people to create the ark, that he couldn't spiritually speak to the animals to let them know not to eat each other? He created human and animals. I'm pretty sure he could speak to both. Also, have you not heard of the Eve gene? The Eve gene is a mitochondrial DNA that could create any color of race. So let's talk about the book of Enoch that was taken out of the Bible. I don't know if y'all know the scripture of the book of Enoch where it talks about Noah's father and mother going up to Enoch telling him that Noah looks like the kids from the fallen angels, as if he's a descendant of the fallen angels. You can go watch my part 1 to tell you how people were created in different shades and forms. Noah was of a pale skin, albino. That's why his father and mother was scared of him and said that he looked like the children's descendants of the fallen angels. He was a pale skin and colored eyes. Also, God talks about the 4th and 5th bloodline, where your bloodline will wear out after a certain amount of generations. So yes, Noah did have to repopulate the world. Him and his family. Noah was albino and his wife was black, which she contained the Eve gene. After a certain amount of generations, your bloodline will wear out. For instance, if a black person has a kid with a white person, that kid's going to be 50% black, 50% white. Then if that kid goes to a black person soon, their kid is going to be 75% black, 25% white. And if their kid goes to a black person, that kid is going to only have like 1% of white inside of them. Then after that, sooner or later, that bloodline of white will be wiped out. That kid will only be of one race. That bloodline has been thinned out. Also, you can go watch my part 1 to show you how Caucasians was made, which basically answers this question also. But there were curses put upon his people. So after thousands of years, your cousin far, 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 far on this side is black, and your cousin far, 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 far on this side can be white. But you will never know. That's the power of life. And that's the power of Yah. So you can't also just read the Bible. You have to go read the parts of the Bible that was taken out also. It could actually answer all the questions that you're asking. My guy, science just proved that the Bible was real without even knowing it. Okay, so as y'all know, scientists just found out there's another DNA called Neanderthal DNA. All right, so now I'm about to tell y'all why science just proved that the Bible was real without even realizing it. So scientists are saying that every race contains Neanderthal DNA. You know, Asians, Latinos, Europeans, Hispanics, and the list goes on. But they also say that every race has Neanderthal DNA except for African modern descendants, aka black people. Like, you know, they really just proven that the Bible really is talking about the black people and how they're the real Hebrew Israelites, the real Jews. No disrespect, but one of the scientists actually noted that it's kind of like them being the pure humans. Hey, that didn't come from me, that they said that. I'm just repeating it. Now, let me tell you where Neanderthal blood came from. Neanderthals came from Nephilims. Nephilims came from giants. And giants came from the fallen angels. Now, the Bible speaks about how the fallen angels were supposed to be protecting the humans. But instead, they began to fancy them and began to do sexual activities with the women and men, creating children. These children became dysfunctional giants, like those of Goliath, the one that David fought in the Bible. The giants soon began to create their own offsprings, creating the Nephilims, which allowed the Nephilims to create kids, which resulted into Neanderthals. Now, Neanderthal skin couldn't expose to the sun, so they had to move to a colder climate, aka the Caucasus Mountains. See where I'm going there? Which is where they got the word Caucasians from. Their skin grew lighter and lighter, which created the lighter skin pigmentation, which a lot of these races and ethnicities carry till this day. Now, Nephilims were giants, the violent offspring produced when wicked angels mated with human women in the days of Noah. The hybrids born from this unnatural union were no ordinary children. Since the Neanderthal blood is still alive, that just proved that some must have lived after the Noah flood. Otherwise, their habitation would have been washed away during this global catastrophe. This means one or more of the 8 people that was on Noah's Ark must have carried the unique genetic variations that Neanderthals possessed, allowing those genes to survive and to be passed on for a time before they eventually died out.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. That was a very mind-blowing message. Now, a couple of things that I have to address in
Mind blowing. Woohoo! Brain cancer. This is the problem. Now the brother, not him. I had to get on him because he came on. He showed all this stuff about, and he showed us interesting things about that he's African. He showed things about how these professors be telling the truth about what they've been doing us. So he doing the research. But he pops up the other day, and he got this big old cross. I mean, it was a big one. So I hit on him. I said, hey, man, you saying all this stuff about what they do it to blacks and everything else, and you walk around with a big old cross on, man, and you understand what that cross means? That they did all that under the authority of the cross. I haven't seen him wear a cross since then. I ain't seen him wear one since then, so I don't know, maybe he got it, that's it not. Right, but anyway, the thing is that the other brother that was asking those questions, he was asking the right questions. He said, that means he was thinking brother. See? So he had a contrast. He had a thinking brother. Remember, you got 2 parts. You got the thinking, that's the brain, and you got the mind. See? The mind is just like software that gives information to the brain. As he was operating on that level, but he didn't have a mind. He was trying to find a mind was giving proper information. Because he didn't like them, because the information didn't make sense. His brain, see what I'm saying? His brain calculated, that don't make any sense. You get the point here? Now, his sister, right, her well-meaning, she had the mind, but not the brain. Because they fed all this stuff. Because she would calculate, she would have said, man, that don't make no damn sense. Because none of it makes any sense. So her calculator was turned off. The software, the mind was turned on. And she's full of all this information that made no sense whatsoever. I mean, you could tack all of it. The Nephilim, they have, so, okay, if the Nephilims and the angels, if before they had sex with humans and had babies, they had the same physiology. It had the same physiology. No, they had the same basic DNA. They had the mix. You can't go out there and have sex with a dog and produce a child. You have to have the same physiology. That's why I call it species, because you can't cross species. So angels being in different species, it's impossible to have children if they were such things as angels, like they say, and they came down here, they're supposed to do this, and then you got this group, and then you got that group, and all this stuff she was saying, and none of it makes any sense. I'm not gonna go through all of it, but none of it made any sense. Because if you use calculus, that's why that was a good example of the mind and the brain. And when you got one operating on the mind level and one operating on the brain level, you bring them together. That's what we're trying to do. We got to bring it. But first of all, right? Because they turned off her calculator. That's what they did us during the hard car. They turned our calculators off. You weren't allowed to think. If you're not using muscle, after a while, you lose it. So people you're forbidden to think. In fact, you had time to think anyway. Because you're picking that cotton 100%. You better be calling that cotton because they got watching you. Amen. Oh. So only thing you so your ability to think, right, was diminished. People had the ability to think. They have the nature. Just don't have that's your experience, right? It's like a muscle. You got the nature, but you haven't developed. It's not developed, right? And a lot of people in that condition. You got a lot of people got a lot of information. See, no ability to think, and others got ability to think, but no information, and we got to solve that problem. Because if your brain cell is very difficult, right, to turn that off. Some of us, they turn it off a lot, but some of us still try to think. A little bit, but some. I was thinking all growing up, I was strange. I wanted to figure stuff out. I was fighting all the time with brothers. Why you talking that stuff all the time? I didn't know it was different. I didn't know what was going on. They don't want to hear that. They want to party, play sports, and everything else. I wanted to go to the library because we need all of that. See? I said we're all different cells, the same body. So you got a brain cell out there. Because I was looking for information. That's why I was looking for Elijah. I went looking for Elijah. They didn't find me. I found them. Because I was looking for information. You see? So that's the situation. So she got all this knowledge. See, what she's saying was in the Bible. Okay? But they had to put they connect the dots. They want to try to make somebody connect some dots. Say, oh, and they connect dots. Because if you don't have the angel key, even if you can think without the angel key, you still have to connect dots correctly. That's why you need that key. So yeah, you're talking about the Nephilim, and they came and they have sex with the women and yeah, all that's in the Bible. But then you got to know who the Nephilim is. They're not some angels came out someplace. Got to know who they are. They produce giants. See, that's a Goliath. No, that's not what they mean. See, the Nephilim was original people. They started having a relationship with Adam and Eve, them people, Caucasian people. And they produced giants. What do it mean, giants? Well, they were giants, right? That means they were bigger than their fathers. What does it mean? Remember? Okay, here you are, you're a Lamborghini. You got sex with a Volkswagen Beetle, right? So you produce a BMW, right? Now, BMW, right? It's less than a Lamborghini, but it's more powerful because it doesn't need as much energy. You see what I'm saying? So he's on the level of mom. He's not as much energy as mom, but he's got more energy than dad. The expo. You understand the point? That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's the math of it. I hope you get. Let me say it again. You're a Lamborghini. We don't have enough energy to do anything with a Lamborghini. Your energy deprivation, like I explained before. But folks like Bill, they got a lot of energy because they don't need that much. They're lower structure, right? So you have a relationship with that, right? Okay, so now you get to some BMW. Well, it doesn't need as much energy as you, so it's got more energy. It's a giant compared to you because as far as energy concerned, it can control things. It's not as powerful as mom. Mom is a BMW. She got much more energy, disposable energy. That's the point. See? That's the point. I think I get it mixed up. The Nephilim, I think it's the angels in relation to the women producing Nephilim. I believe that's the case. But I think I said Master Muhammad's a Nephilim, whatever. Because like I said, he's not a devil. But he's not an Lamborghini either. So he made God. That's why he had to have a, they say he had to, because look white to come over here. Well, you want to go along with that, fine. I mean, that could be one, that could work. But the point is, he has more power than us, but he doesn't need as much energy. But he's original. All you got to do is teach them that you apply discipline, apply more like discipline, so now you got all that power. That's not story, the more process. But see, that's what I'm saying. See what they did to that sister? The brother asked the right questions, but she giving the wrong answers. She getting bad information. And she's tried. She wants to do the right thing, but her calculator ain't on. So they feel they have all this bad information. And so she accepted it. Why? Because she get it from her brothers that she trusts. Because she don't believe any of that. She don't know any of that stuff is right. So she got some brothers that she trusts. I told you, sisters love us. They trust us. What we doing? I said, I want to go to the F word again on that one. See what I'm saying? They trust us. This ain't no them pump them up with 3 or 4 babies, and then we left them out there, and then they talk about, man, she out there, she no matter who and all that. Yeah. No. You see? So what the devils did to us is one thing. But you can have a response what you doing to your sisters. Because there can be judgment when you get home. I warned you. Let me background check like you never saw in your life. Because like I said, everything you've done be exposed. You won't be no secrets hidden. And a background check on doing everybody. That's the judgment. It tells you that. You read the judgment. It's a background check on everything you ever done. Not here when you get there. And when those sisters find out that that's what you've been doing, unless you got domestic corrected it, not when you get there, that's too late. Because you got to be here, you got to be on post, you got to be handling. That's how you make your amends through tribulation. So that's why you get purified. You get that shit off of you. Because now you take care of business, everything. All that stuff is washed off of you. You wash your robe in the blood of the Lamb. But if you don't do that, and you come in with all that BS, and you would beat on the sister, should not take care of them and have them out there pop. No sister's gonna have anything to do with you. That's even if you get past the tyrant, they don't have nothing to do with you. So you might as well be a monk. Maybe join the Farrakhan club, this embalming club. I tell you, this is not a joke, but I know people won't know unless they see it. I keep telling them they don't listen. It ain't a joke. It said this is not a joke. If the Bible tells you that, the Quran tells you it's not a joke. You don't take it serious enough. Okay, let's look at this. Fake Islam. Fake Islam. I'm going to tell you, jinn, they're not Muslim. We're the real Muslim because we submit to the will of Allah. Let's see here. Well, there's that little rat. And you got all these lines around them. And they're scared to death, and the rats start shaking his fists. Yeah, they claim, we don't fear nobody but Allah. You're a goddamn lie. Because false Israel exposing you. Exposing you that you ain't knowing a bunch of chumps, a bunch of lies, you're not even Muslim. Because ain't nowhere in the world no real Muslim would sit around there and it's like you're a man, and the neighbor next door got your child over there, beat your child, raping your child over there. You sitting over there. On top of that, can I mow your lawn? What? They surround these people. They outnumber 1,001, and they send and these are their own people, their own Arabs, and they beating, and they openly doing it. They ain't secretly doing it, beating them and raping them and killing them and shooting, blowing them, shooting them in the head. Now they say they got a thing now. They say it's a daily thing. It's like a video thing. They say that one day they shoot like 100 people and shoot them in the arm. Next day, right, they shoot them in the leg. Right, so that's the wounds. So when they come through, say everybody got 8 wound legs today. I mean leg wounds today. They say everybody arm wounds. They say head wounds. And they say the young men come in, they shot testicles off. I should have played it. Right? I should have said the leak. They was talking about. I mean, they're openly doing it. It's on video. They ain't hiding it. Everybody knows, the whole world knows they're doing this, and they're surrounded by all these lions. They're talking about, I fear nobody but Allah. You're a goddamn lie, because you will get on there and tear their ass up in a minute. Why would you allow them to be doing that to your people, your women, children, right in the middle of your face? See, they fake Muslims. And that's why Falsehood is showing everybody they ain't shit. They talk that stuff, they ain't nothing to them. Cause I'm a little old rat, little rat here. And I roar loud at them and they, what's going to happen? You know, where do you think they get their oil and food? They get it from the Arab countries. They just get their fuel and stuff from. They don't have it. And then they killing the women, just openly doing it. Open genocide. And Farrakhan telling you, you can put join to that. They haven't had a victory in 500 years. Farrakhan telling you, join to that. No, we're going back over and take our land back. And we got to deal with that. That's going to be a walkthrough. Because when our people come together, it was 2 stages. See, the elect going to go prepare the way for the Levites to come. They can go and take the country. They can go and take the country. Right? Ain't going to burn it down. We're going to take it. But look at that. Look all Israel. I mean, it's like, I said, 7 million people there. You got like 200 million Arabs all around them, they're right in the middle. And the rats say, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then they get the little dummies and tell them, hey man, wait, you going to paradise, man, you gonna blow yourself up. They ain't gonna do it themselves. They buying that stuff. So why don't you apply the same thing with him? You want to tell these little dummies go out there and blow themselves up. Why don't you go ahead and attack them? You scared the atomic bomb? They can't use it. They did use it. But then the other side, what's the other side of this coin? It's judgment. See, everybody ain't innocent over there. The guys, I mean, this was, you see from that perspective. There's other perspective here too. Because there's great fear in them. But part of the reason why there's fear in them is that's the fear that we've been under 500 years. On top of that, people in Gaza and Palestine, those people was primarily the ones that was the tools to betray us. So now they get a taste of what we went through. See, this judgment, you don't understand the judgment going on. Everything that happened right now is a judgment from us. It's coming from the angel. You don't understand it. You understand in a minute. Because when all this stuff started happening, when they start this process, first one was going to go to Iraq and so forth, so on. When it started, it happened in 1990, 1991 when the actual war started, the whole Middle East thing. When did he break the angel? Still, it was 1990. When did Farrakhan get that cancer? 1991. When they actually started the war in the Middle East, 1991. 1990 is when he went to Kuwait. 1991 is the war actually started. Is that a coincidence? You don't understand what's going on here, brothers and sisters. You won't understand in a minute. Go look it up. I need to look it up for you. When did actually? Because I say you can check everything I say. You can check it out. Well, everything I say, I'll tell you don't accept anything I say. Don't accept it. Go and check it out. 1991. When the fire gonna get that cancer? Look it up. 1991. I sent direct message in the mail by the angel. Then he got cursed, like it says. Yep, 1991. Crucial year. All this stuff, everything's going on right now. Result, 1991. Now the angel was broken. They said, when he broke the seal, this happened. Seal this happened. Don't seal this happened. Don't seal this happened. Beginning of Obama's rise. No story all together. Right? He was hanging out with Farrakhan before he, but it's no story. But that's what I'm saying. They're not Muslim. They're the jinn. And that false Israel is exposing, is turning them out. See? They cowards over there. They talk all that Muslim stuff. All that stuff. Look, we're whooping their ass. We're tricking them out. We're outthinking them. And look, they scared to death. They're afraid of us. They ain't afraid of, they don't fear nobody but Allah. No, they fear us. That means their religion ain't worth shit. They don't believe in it. They just got that money. They ain't about enough. They ain't about anything. Look at that. They shaking our boots. All we got to do is squeak this little mouse over here. And now that we beating and killing and stepping their children, their own children, their own people, in their face, and doing their face, they're doing it. In their face, and they ain't doing a damn thing about it, nothing. Only one doing something about it, right, is Iran, and they're not Arabs. The Houthis, I'm not sure about them. But it is all thumbs up on them. But the rest of them, remember, Houthis, they was attacking them. America and all the Sunnis was attacking the Houthis. So I'm not. Let me check out them, see if Yemen, see if they. That's good. That's a good point. Yemen. They're not. They said Houthis really not the name. It's probably a slander, but no. I'm so busy. I haven't checked it out, bro. Just be by myself. Okay, they're Arabs, most of them. I guess they're Sunni too. Okay, yes. It's close to half and half Sunni and Shia. They don't even want to stand up. Everybody's coward. How's that happen? They should have jumped on them in a minute. Oh, he's afraid of the Taliban. I thought you wasn't afraid about no fear nobody by Allah. Or America might come and get us. They're fake. The jinn. That's a fact. They can't interpret the crowd like that because that show they jinn. Because they say the Quran, if the Adam is American Britain, the Europeans that's ruling the world, it says, I give new rule on earth. Who's only ruling in earth? Is Africa's ruling? China ruling? No. Europeans. So who's the one, who's the system, what's the nation completely reject all their Sunni Arabs? There you go. Okay, judgment. Oh, like I was saying about Gaza. What you see, it's complicated because The judgment is only, the judgment started in 2020. 2019, 1619, 2019, 40 years. Just our first started the plague. I told you the plague of flies had to do with false Jews. I told you that. I've been meaning to do that one over again, right? That's what right now, all this anti-Semitism, all over the place. I told you before this happened, I said that for the plague of flies could refer to false Jews. It's going to get worse. Because when false Israel is they're about to go down. They're going to be down before the end of the year. There's no doubt about it. Right? You're going to see it pretty soon. You're going to know it definitely before October. Right? That they're either going or they're definitely on the way down. And you see Jerusalem's travel armies. Because the boundless desolation is happening right now. It's been happening ever since. Look up abominable, root word of it. The uprising was put down with great cruelty. It's been going on, but nobody's called it. That's what's going on right now. It says to be over there in Jerusalem, boundless desolation. But they didn't call it because then that's supposed where everybody is. And so when you say boundless desolation, right, that and Jerusalem armies, all these things come together. And now all armies are converging on Jerusalem. And nobody's calling it but me. I've been calling it before it happened, not Farrakhan. Oh, he didn't tell you after 10 years after it happened. Watch the weather. No, we don't watch the weather here. We create the weather. But the judgment started in 2020. So all these, all the things that everybody's done is coming to consequences. And part of the consequences, we're the ones that was done too. So now the dam is breaking because by us submitting, that gave the Christian a grace period. In other words, every action has obsolete reaction. But you can delay it. If you punch me in the face, I don't punch you back. That means, okay, I'm going to punch you back, but may I take a year to do it? Okay, you got a grace period. You still get the consequence. I just dammed it up. So by us submitting to the devils, we didn't retaliate for what they was doing to us, and it was bottled up for 400 years. Bottled up, dammed up. So now it's being released. That's why it says all we've done should become on you in one day. Could you imagine that? You punch me in the face every day for a year. Boom, 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 boom. 365 times you punch me in the face. I didn't hold you. Then I said, okay, at the end of it, I punch you in the face with a power of 360 punches. You won't survive that. Boom, one punch that's worth, because that's what I owe you. I give it to you all at once. Instead of give you one a day, I give it you all at once. The whole 365. So if each punch weighs a pound of force, right? So you 365 pounds of force that you build hit me over a year. It took a year to do it. But I give you 365 pounds of force at one time. Boom! That's what's going to happen in America. Because the dam is breaking. By submitting, we held it back. And so that's why it says, doing them, double is done to you, because we're the ones going to do it back then. Because we was damned it up. That's why they call it the age of grace. You got to put these things together, bro. It says it's grace because we weren't retaliating. We held in the pressure. By holding in, that extreme pressure caused us to transform into diamonds. Hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. So that now we see. Remember, they betrayed us. The Arabs betrayed us. They're our half brothers, Ishmael. They betrayed us. They were black. They betrayed us. So now, what they're going through over here right now, because it says all this would happen until, or what's happening, and one of the things that happened had to be the breaking the power of the holy people. We understand the angel, holy people, the Arabs. Their powers be broken because their power was based on our submission, our subjection over here. You see the connection? So read it. I look it up. It says, in Daniel, it says the power to breaking the power of the holy people. All the people talking about the Arabs. They think it's so holy. But it's not because it's Arabs. So they had power because we didn't take back what they took from us. We let everybody do everything to us, and we didn't retaliate. So we're stored up for 500 years, and now we're releasing. Time of pressure, trouble. Then we're gonna take everything back. That's what it says. We're gonna take everything back. Everybody, the world's gonna be in trouble because we kicking ass, taking names. Because now that's the consequence. Every act how we react. That's justice. That's the judgment. So right now, they're losing power over there. I told you it started in 1990. And the power's gonna get worse and worse because this war, when Iran, remember they Michael's angels ran in Syria. Syria's coming back, but the point they're gonna take and they're gonna defeat the dragon, which is House of Saud. They're gonna defeat the Sunni. They're gonna take control of the whole region. Their powers will be broken. Our power's coming back now. The first one's going to take it, be the demons and the devils here, crushed. Then we're going to take back Arabia. Then we're going to eventually take South Africa too, which is what y'all call Africa. We're going to take it all back. That's apocalypse. Apocalypse. That's a good word, apocalypse. No, apocalypse. Okay, it's serious, bro, scissors. But now I'm trying to get you to understand what's going on here. So they suffering because the ones that did the worst to us, they're getting the worst of it. The Gaza, and they was the Palestinians. They was one closest to Africa, around the pathway to Africa right there. But between Africa, North Africa, and South Africa, because Arabia's North Africa. They was one who betrayed us. They the ones allowed the Europeans to come in, and they guide them and everything else to get to us. And then they got up our lands. Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Egypt. Those are our lands. They threw us under the bus and took our lands. And then they give a damn about it. And then we should march with them and everything. I march with you. You didn't shed a tear for what happened to us. You see the Arabs come over here and say, man, what? They was up in Detroit when Masha Muhammad showed up. They had big old temples, a big old compilation up there. And not one of them ever came out and said boo to a black person. Sunnis up there, then when Masha Muhammad showed up, hey man, y'all got the wrong Islam. Oh boy, I was getting ready to get the F word on them. I've said, you got it. It says, times the day of wrath has come. Day of requital. What do you know requital? You know what requital means? Look at the word requital. I'll do it for you. Master, day of requital. Requital is the act of returning or giving something in return, either as reward for a service or cause or as a retaliation for a wrong or injury. Be done a positive or negative response, depending on the context. Who was wrong? Who's wrong done to? We the gods that's going to master their requital. That's what it is. All the nations was against us. Master of their requital. Okay, judgment. Look at that. Now this is Psalm, so you can read at your own leisure. I meant to print, do a voiceover, what it's talking about here is that he was asking, why how they getting, why they getting away with all the stuff they doing? These devils, man, the wicked, they do all this stuff, and they getting away with it, and like you helping them. Remember, he was supporting Adam. See, that's the first part. In fact, I'm gonna do it when I do it back. I'm gonna do it print this. I'm gonna do it so you can read it, because I'm not gonna read it out. I'll do a voice text. Oh, wait, wait. What happened here? Okay. Okay, that's good. This is the second part of that. That's the part I want to focus on. 15, 14 right here. Okay, do that. Man, but that's the judgment primarily, right? Immediate. And so he's saying, why is all these things happening? Why they so successful? They're so powerful and everything. That's what the first part. And then he says, if I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. It was too painful for me to understand how come the righteous people is suffering the Holocaust. And the wicked ones, man, doing so powerful and strong, they don't fear anything. That's what the first part says. So you can read at your own leisure. Right? They said, until I went to the sanctuary of God, then I understood therein. They saw what was going to happen. The consequence of all this, right? Surely thou didst set them in slippery places that's casting down into destruction. See, that's the result. How they are brought into this desolation as in a moment. Quick, it happened this year. They are utterly consumed with terrors. As dreaming one waketh, so it's like it's going to dream to us, right? And when thou wakest, thou shalt despise their image. When our people awaken, they will despise them. Right now they're in love with them, want to be around them. This is this, all that kind of stuff. So that's their end. But see, at first you're complaining about why they doing. Maybe I'll read a couple of lines here. Why they? Okay. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. See, it was prosperous, because it's their time. This was the wicked time of the dog. This right. This is a season for them, so they was prosperous in it. For there were no bonds in their death, no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. Man, they firm. Remember the Quran says, you said mountain look like it's firmly fixed, blew away like nothing. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compassed them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment. They were full of violence. Pride, violence. Right? Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart. They have more than hearts could wish. They so much abundance and everything. So much. They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. They set their mouth against the heavens, and tongue walketh through the earth. Therefore his people return hither and walk water a full cup of wing out. Therefore his people return hither, and water of a full cup are wrung out to them. In other words, we get a full measure of their hell. Right? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Verily, I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. See how that's how I talking about these devils. They're working for them. You know, they get kicked the Sunnis' ass for last 5 years. I had victory in 5 years. Then he says, but look, who? And then he says, that's where they are right now. But then he says, he got a chance to see how the end would be. And he said, damn, whoa. Look what the end was. You had to set them in slippery places, down, cast them down into destruction. How they are born to desolation and as in a moment. You can read at your leisure. It's in Psalms. That's a judgment. You got two judgments. You got the judgment here on the world, then you got a judgment between us. Once we get home and everything else, the judgment between us. We got to make sure it's perfect. First of all, make sure those Chief Hajj, and then even some way Chief Hajj, even though the Chief Hajj will still be separated out. That'd be rare, but in some cases that will be the case, right? The point is, well, let me say it a different way. There'll be some rare situations. I'm going to go into it, but most ones of Chief Hajj, they're good, right? But there'll be another group that's going to pretend they're Hajj. That's what judgment. Remember, I said some everlasting life, because they made it through tribulation. They had to. Some everlasting life, everlasting shame and appallment. So leave it there. That's the judgment. Screen those out. But there'll be some rare cases that some Chief Hajj, right? Hopefully nobody falls in that, but it could be some rare. I think a couple of situations where I could be. Okay. Come out of my people. Let's look at this one. Separate Elijah versus Farrakhan. Okay, listen to this, brothers and sisters.
How's we gonna make it? Surely you ain't talking about us packing our bags and going or going out there in the land. Ain't no cities, no towns, no infrastructure out there. Surely you ain't talking about that, are you? We ain't going back to Africa. No. It's your land. Our sweat, our tears, our blood has earned us the right to the land. What God wants you to do is come out of their way. Come out of their pagan holiday where you should be honoring Jesus. You are bunny rabbits. Invite your children to pay eggs for some Easter. Come out of her. Get the Santa Claus from your house and the tree that is the way of the pagans. Come out of her. St. Valentine's Day. What is that? Excuse me. Come out of a name. Come out of a religion. Come out of a culture. Come out of a way of life. Come out of an educational system.
And I heard other voice out of the heavens saying, Come you out, the people of me, out of her, in order that not you should share together to the sins of her, and out of the plagues of her in order that not you should receive, because we're glued together of her the sins until the heaven, and called to mind the God the unjust acts of her. Give you back to her as also she have back, and double you the double according to the works of her, in the cup to which she mingle you to her double, as many as she glorified herself and lived unreigned in luxury, so much give you to her torment and mourning. Because in the heart of her she is saying that I am sitting queen, and widow not I am, and mourning not I should see. Through this in one day will come the plagues of her, death and mourning and famine, and in fire she will be burned down, because strong Lord the God the having judged her. And they will weep and they will strike themselves upon her the kings of the earth the with her having committed fornication and having lived unreigned in luxury, whenever they may be looking at the smoke of the firing of her.
Okay, brothers and sisters. See, that's his interpretation of what just was read. That's chapter 18 of the angel, or what you call Revelations. And that's his interpretation of it. Remember, he said he represented Elijah Muhammad, right? Now, Elijah Muhammad taught on that. That's one of the pillars of what he taught. So let's see what Elijah Muhammad had to say. You be the judge. See what Elijah Muhammad had to say about the same thing. Okay? So let's listen to what Elijah Muhammad had to say about it. And that's what he said. He's representing Farrakhan. We ain't going anywhere. Stay right here. Land belongs to us. That's what he said, right? You said, right? Land belongs to us. Come out of her means don't leave here. We ain't going back to Africa. We ain't going stand right here. It means just come out of her religion and kind of, right? Okay, let's see what Elijah Muhammad said. See what Elijah Muhammad has to say about it.
He has not offered the slave nothing to go upon. While Israel was offered something to leave Egypt with, a few gold pieces. They was helped to get out of Egypt. But we have been let loose like cattle, not even having any chance whatsoever to go away from our slave master to our own. And they would not carry us back to our people. Let us remember these things. Almighty God, Allah taught us that our fathers wanted to go back to their people. When they was put off on the shores of North America. And the ship, Jesus, that John Hawkins brought our parents here on. They stood and stared at it disappearing in the whole rhythm. Crying, wanting to return, with their hands stretched out towards that ship, and tied in chains themselves, bound together. Feet, and when they was put off on this memorable shows, they stood there staring at that ship that brought them to a strange land and a strange people who could not speak either one's language. Now they have to live in a strange country and a strange people who have proven to them every mile from their native land that they were going to be the worst enemies that they ever lived with. They were going to be the people that would destroy them. They soon discovered that on the ship that they were being brought here on. I don't know how we should say anything in the name of Jesus of good for us when this ship was named Jesus. This is how that we have always been deceived by the white man, trying to use Jesus, the name Jesus, to lull us off in a mental sleep, thinking that we are on our way to heaven. This is terrible. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is very hard for us to even to accept today. Imagine our parents standing crying to return to their native land and people, and you here today crying to stay with the very enemy that brought our fathers in subjection to their will. You are now turning your face from your own native land turning it back towards on prison house and on enemies who have destroyed us and seeks to further destroy us. How do you feel? How do you feel? Not wanting to return to your people. They are trying to make love with the very people that destroyed you and your parents. How do you feel? Acting so. And even today, they are beating and shooting you down throughout the country. There's no justice here for you and me. Why should not you want to be separated and be returned to your own? I ask you that question. Think over your parents on the eastern shores of North America, crying and praying to God to be returned to their own 400 years ago. How would they like, or you like to see them rise up in the judgment condemning you for being such fools as now want to live in the land that absolutely enslaved them and killed them and beat them for 300 long years here? They would condemn you as being fools for not wanting to be separated and go to your own, fill up a nation for yourself. The white man say you are free. Remember that.
Like I said, Brown says, you be the judge. That's what Elijah Muhammad said. And you heard what they said. So they represent Elijah Muhammad. Who's the fool here? He said they're fools. Want to fall in love with the devils. Want to stay here in the land of our imprisonment. Say you're fools to do that. You want to do that. You don't want to go home. You want to stay here. Be in love with your enemies who did all kinds of damage to your ancestors. I'm paraphrasing. So who's the fool here? I mean, you be your judge. Is Farrakhan teaching Elijah Muhammad's teachings? Is that the same thing? Maybe it's Greek or something. Maybe it's the opposite. You be the judge. Elijah's words, Farrakhan's words. Because Ishmael's his spokesman. When Farrakhan said, we ain't going nowhere. The country belongs to us. Stay here. We can love with our enemies who destroyed our people. So you be the judge. We're here. Okay. Now he said, come out. He said, coming out means come out to name, language, religion, holidays. That's what he said, right? Because scripture says, come out so you take of their plagues. Right? So if coming out don't mean leaving the country, means staying here. That's what coming out means, right? So you can take of their plagues and stuff, because based on what they're saying, if you come out of that, right, the plagues didn't bother you. Why would you want to take the plague? Because that's what it said. Come out so you can avoid the plagues. So if you're going to stay here, somehow staying here, I guess believing in Farrakhan will cause you not to experience the plagues. You understand? Because that's it. That's what it says. Come out of her so you don't experience the plagues. And he says the coming out means religious stuff. So the bottom line is that if you come out of religion, all that kind of stuff, you won't experience those plagues. But you're still here. So somehow There's gonna be some protective barrier around you that you won't see the famine, all other stuff. Not just forget about the fact is that if there is a famine, which there won't be any food. Where you gonna get food from? Farrakhan got, he said, farms, or he gonna feed you? You think he's gonna do that? If he did, you all over the country, so how you gonna get the food to you? You're gonna have a Farrakhan truck driving from one state to another when everybody's starving to death, and they go say, hey man, them Farrakhan folks, man, they got it going on, man. They got food. They sound hungry, and they're gonna let that truck go by? And they see a truck pulling up in somebody's house. Oh man, look old Cecil over there, man. They got food from Farrakhan. Yeah. How long do you think before you'd be the food? They break your house and turn you into the food too. See, all this stuff don't make any damn sense. Anyway, so somehow you're gonna be protected if you just stay here. Because the plagues, because he didn't say when there gonna be no plagues and stuff. He said just come out and you won't be affected by those things. They said there will be plagues and all that kind of stuff, then rattling America. But if that's the case, am I making the case here? I mean, you make sense of it. It says, come out. Do I have to play it again? I wonder if I can do this like this. No, it won't work. Anyway, if you read chapter 18, that's what it says. Come out, so you'll be take her plagues. He said the coming out means, so therefore that means if you do that, you won't suffer the plagues and stuff that America's going to be plagued. They said America's going down. How they going down? So you won't suffer the things that take America down because you came out. That's what he's saying. I mean, you tell me. Okay, so if that's the case, then why is he wearing a mask? Why is he wearing a mask? I mean, he's out, right? You don't have that name. You don't have the religion. Right? You don't have the holiday, all that stuff, right? So why he wearing them? He shouldn't be worried about anything, right? But even more so, how come all these top people was dying because of COVID? Remember, that's the first of the plagues. I told you the first of the plagues will come after 2019. The plagues will start after 40 years. 1619 to 2019, the plagues start 1920, 2020. 1619 to 2019, boom, round time, 2020. Kill the firstborn, the elderly. Passing over original black people. Passing over them. It didn't affect Africa. Check it out. They didn't do any social distancing. They didn't take the shots, none of that kind of stuff. But it was tearing everybody else up. It wasn't affecting Haiti either. They tried to force Haiti to take those shots, and the president refused, so they assassinated him. Haiti, where a place where black folks was, COVID didn't affect them. Why is that? So why is he wearing a mask? He should be protected, because he ain't in a religion. He ain't in a language, culture, all this stuff, right? So he should have been. But on top of that, why is his top people? Remember, his top people that was dying. His top ministers and stuff died because of COVID. And they come out of her. They came out of her, out of the name and everything else. You see what I'm saying? So if that's true, then how come why you wearing a mask? You shouldn't be wearing a mask. And you're talking why people dying and they was dying of COVID. Why was they dying of COVID? And why are you afraid of it? You supposed to be out, right? See the bullshit? The bullshit? Uh-oh, no, next. The bullshit? Separate means to get the hell out of here. Sodom and Gomorrah, get the hell out. The reason why he wants to stay here, because he's not seed Abraham, and this is promised land, what I'm going to show you in a few minutes. Deceiving you. But you say if you want to, listen to that stuff. Because what's going to protect you from, what, believing in Farrakhan? That's the faith going to protect you from these plagues and stuff? They lying. They know they're lying. But he when as Legion, look at Mark. That's his Legion. Louis Eugene Grounds NOI backwards. That's who Legion is. That's him. Where he says first, please don't make me lead a country, because this is their promised land. They missing the covenant. Let's see, if you leave Malachi, you got 4 characters there. You got the God who raised Elijah. Elijah prepared the way for the message of the covenant. That's what it says. Read it. Don't take my word for it. That means the message of the covenant. He's the message of the covenant. He's preaching the covenant. I mean, you need a PhD for that one? The message of the covenant, he's preaching the covenant. Farrakhan does not preach the covenant. He said we're not going nowhere. Suleiman's preaching the covenant, been teaching for 30-some years. Message of the covenant. Who you seek. And if you're seeking him, that means you're not seeking Elijah. Elijah prepared a way. What was Elijah preparing for him? The Nation of Islam. So they had the material to purify and get him home. If they got him, they would have avoided tribulation, because he had 35 years to prepare them to leave out here when the elect left. But there was a robber. So the man robbed God. See? Who was the God in this case? I shouldn't even said that, really. He says, well, man, because, remember the Lamb and the God. The Lamb is the high priest. That's why I'm the administrator. I'm not getting to that. I shouldn't even went there. But he says, well, man, rob. So no matter how you cut it. And he says he robbed the nation. They actually say nation. So he robbed them of NOI. That's why he had to come with full of soap and the purification, because he had to clean him up. Why had he clean up Elijah's mess? No, Farrakhan's mess, because that's what he did. If you read it, he's Aaron. He's the one that took over when Elijah left. Son of perdition is sitting in Elijah's seat. Said those with him, they do not love the truth. That's why they're with him. But then the other ones, it says, when you read Exodus, it says, it said, remember, it said, the Lord you seek. That means they will be seeking Elijah. They'll be seeking this other person. So something preventing them from, if you seek it, that means you don't see it yet. Some may prevent you from seeing it. They're the ones preventing, because it was Legion in Mark that was preventing them from seeing the Son of Man. Suleiman. Okay. The Lord you seek. So he's in Exodus. Moses comes and says, "Go with the Lord." You go to Aaron's camp, Farrakhan's camp. Said, "Go with the Lord." That means they wasn't with Aaron, because they would say he's always with the Lord. And all the Levites came, so that means they wasn't with him. They was just there. Why was they there? Because he said, "The Lord you seek suddenly come to his temple." So that's where you want to be, where he's going to come to. That's why they're there, because they ain't with Farrakhan. It said they wasn't with him. They're the ones going to turn him out, throw him down. When thrones are cast down, the ancient of days just sit. Who's that? That's Suleiman. That's what's going on there, bro. So I'm not going to go too much detail. So I explained to you. He stole the nation. He's getting rich off of it, right? And when he steal it, you can't steal something from somebody that don't possess it yet. So he possessed it once he broke the 7 seals in 1990. Then his nation was his. His ministry started in 1990 officially, because as the Son of Man, because he didn't even know that's who he was. So he broke the seals. Then he broke seals. The nation belonged to him. His ministry. And read the same thing about John the Baptist, everything else. Right? His ministry started soon as right after John was beheaded. He wasn't the nation to be baptized, but he wasn't. He was beheaded. Means the nation was beheaded. That's not a story. The point is, and then he took it. He kept it. It wasn't his. So now he's cursed. He's cursed for robbing the nation. Because if he just backed off, it wouldn't have been a problem. He backed off and gave it to Joshua, it would have been a problem. In 1990, okay, because he was given information. I actually sent him a copy of the angel with the seal broken. Registered mail, make sure you got it. 1990, 1992, he's got cancer. Curse with a curse. And that's the ultimate curse. Any man would tell you that. Being disemboweled. Man who cut out. 55 years old he was. Take or leave it. You decide. Because he didn't leave. Aaron didn't leave the wilderness. He didn't make it to the promised land. It's Joshua that God said he would be with, like he was with Moses, and he would take the people home. Right? And Joshua also, that's the Greek word. The Greek word for Joshua is Jesus. Look it up. He didn't want to take people home. Okay? Mess with the covenant. He despised the covenant. Plus, he's not Abraham's seed anyway. But let's get a short version there, brothers and sisters. Behold, I will send a messenger. Behold, I will send a messenger. He shall prepare the way before me. And Lord, whom you seek shall suddenly come to his temple. Even the messenger of the covenant, whom you delight in. Now Elijah preparing the nation of Islam for this one who they delight in. He shall come, said Lord of hosts, which is by the day of his coming. It's going to be a hard day. He ain't sitting in any bullshit. Right? Who shall stand when he appeareth? For he's like a refiner's fire and full of soap. It says, refiner and purifier of silver, and he shall purify the sons of Levi. When he's Elijah Muhammad, that's the nation of Islam. And purge them as gold. And so when you purge something, you know what that purge is? Look it up. This will happen between now and October this year. Make a note. The problem for you is if you don't act until it actually happens, you lost. Crown tells you. You believe it's a total act. Once to see the fire, it's too late then. It doesn't matter to me whether you act or not. I ain't asked for any followers. I ain't asked you to come. I don't want your money. Fire can't ask for money. All these preachers ask for money. First, they don't even know God's word. Then they ask you money for it. I never asked for a dime. Don't intend to. I'm self-sufficient. I don't need your money. I don't want it. I couldn't give it to you if you wanted to. And I'm doing this job for you. I sacrifice my family and everything else to get this information to you. Literally. 35 years. I'm not bound by the gravity and voice. I can leave here anytime I want to. I know exactly where to go, what to do. I've already broken this reality. I got the engine. I broke this reality. I'm here to pull you out if you're pullable. Put that away. I'll lift you up and you clean the earth. Here it is. This is when he got that cancer. Louis Pryor, Google it. Was this diagnosed with prostate cancer in 1991, 55 years old. 1991. Robbing the nation. You can read on your own. Eden and Arabia. The promised land of Abraham, that's Arabia. It tells you right there. It says between the river Euphrates and the river Egypt, if you go and look at it, that's Arabia. That's our promised land. Barak said we ain't going anywhere. That means he's calling God a liar. You got a problem with that one? He's calling God a liar. God said that's a promise. He gave his word to Abraham. You go into your seed, Ham, Abram, that's why I call him Abram, Ham. You didn't get that one, did you? Because they call us Ham. That show we the true seed. That falls Israel. They put that vision up there to keep us divided. If you don't have a vision, they perish. You have a vision, you have a common vision, that means you work together in unity. So that's how, because he's not seed of Abraham. That's promised to seed of Abraham. Not descendants like bad translation, seed. But now, what was promised to Adam? Eden, this is Eden here. This is where he was. The tree was here, we was here. They were westward of Eden. There was an eastward of Eden. They said Eden was the east. They said they was eastern of Eden, which is the east coast here. That's where they was established at. That's where Adam was established at right here. And Eve came out of the side. America. The garden. You think in God there's never fallen you lack what fell those who have passed away before you. Stress, affliction fell them. They were shaken violently, but the measure of those who believe in him said, when help of Allah come, help us not. I said, this right here, that's the way we talk, but when you get home, see, that tells you almost, because when you talk like this, you understand, when you got a key, you understand, I tell you, average is just the grammar. The way we talk like picture language, parables. And do right here tells you everything I've been talking about today. But you're going to see it because you're still on a two-dimensional plane. You think intergarden means, let me break this down. I've been talking about this the last couple of days. That you have not intergarden. You think you were intergarden. It means you haven't entered yet. It means you're not in a place where you want to be, where your nature is. The garden is where your nature is, where you have in your paradise. But you're not there. But in order to get there, you got to go through affliction, distress, violence. It's balance between you and where you want to be, right? See? And then you need help. You need Allah's help after that because you had to go through this. That means you didn't get his help, and otherwise you wouldn't have to go through this all. So you had to go through this, and then you get his help. So what you need his help for if you already went through this? That's the question you have to ask. Like that brother before, he was asking the right questions. His sister just didn't have the right answers. Okay, so we're here. We're not in our garden. We're over here in Eden. Our garden's over in Arabia. But to get there, we got to go through violence. So who's going to be doing the violence? We're going to do it to ourselves. I mean, somebody's standing between us and that. We got to go through them to get there. So right now, as long as while we stand here, and we haven't started getting it yet. We think about going, but we so right now, that's what's going to happen to you if you decide you're going to do that. See what I'm saying? That's what happened to you if you decide you're going to garden. So these people right there waiting here, that's a threat. That's a threat. If you go there, the threat is that's what happened to you if you decide to go to the garden. So we try to leave here and go back to our nature, back to our people, like Elijah Muhammad was saying. This is going to happen to us. So it's a threat that's facing us right now. So we have to stay in this bad condition that we are, or we're going to have to face that threat, deal with that threat in order to get home. You understand? That's what's happening right now. Because when falsehoods go down, we're going to wake up, right? Because we're over here now in hell. We want to get to heaven. So if falsehoods will go, and we come together, and we wake up, we're going to try to get there, and they're going to try to wipe us out. That's what it says. They're going to try to kill us, destroy us, they're going to attack us. It's a threat right now. So we everything is okay as long as we don't do that. Everything's okay as long as we don't try to leave here and get back to ourselves. We ain't going nowhere. Why? Because remember, they want you to stay here. That's why we ain't going nowhere because he's part of them. He's a black-faced devil. He follows the devil. You know what I'm saying? So therefore you start. Oh, now you're suffering these things because now you're an attack. You're an attack, right? As a people, you got to come together as an army to protect yourself. A exceeding great army. Protect yourself. Exactly what see all in that verse right there. Okay, so after you overcome that, then what you need Allah's help for? Because you must be in such you ain't in the garden yet. Right? You overcome that. You went through the battle, so you overcome that. But you know why? Because you overcame them. But you're staying in the garden. That means you got to travel to get there. That man's farmer got to take us there. That's transportation. That's what it's talking about. That's everything I've been talking about right there in that little sentence right there. Okay? And nobody's ever been able to see that. I keep telling me, go and look, start studying. Nobody, it's all right there. Look how much is in here. Just look at it and break it down. And so here's another way of looking at it right here. See? Here we are right here, 40 years. This is a threat. You want to get here? Eh? Whoop your ass, beat you. You ain't. If you want to get here, you got to go through this. Over here, everything's. See, he gets along with you as long as you're here. See, got his hands out. Hey, bro, what's happening, man? You want to go see the game, man? No. Want to hit, man? Let's go and get a drink, man. See, you okay now? If you want to go here, start this here. Hey, no, he ain't friendly anymore. He'll whoop your ass. You want to get back here. So now they attack you. You got to come to the scene of the great army. Protect yourself. Protect your females. See, because now they're attacking you. Because you're trying to get back here. You have to why you need to come and see the great army? Why don't you say you came together? No, see the great army because you have protection. You got to fight. See? Remember also doing them as they're done to you? See? And you need transportation to get from here to there. That means we're in a strange land. We know we're in our land. We're in a strange land. That's why we need God's help to finally make the final journey. Look at it, you see? And then you're home. That's Muhammad. Provide transportation. He provides the tickets. He provides tickets. He provides the train, transportation. You're home. So look at another way. Here's where he was before we came over here. Home in Africa, mind our business. They came and placed our beating us into submission. Holocaust. They beat us into this form here. They beat us in that form right there. Remember? They're the reason why we like that. Farrakhan blame us. You're sinful. You're tone. No, you don't get a reward. That's why you don't mention Abraham. The reason I mentioned we're going home because you don't get a reward for being wicked. See, we over here because we were punished. No, we wasn't even punished. We submitted. They the ones. That's why they're going to be punished. Why God going to judge this nation? Why are they going to? Why is not going to judge us? He said he's going to judge the nation that did to us because they're the ones that are responsible. He says, I would judge that nation. These people, not us. See, Farrakhan blaming us because he's one of them. Remember, you're wicked. No, it says going to judge this nation that did to us. That means what they did was unjust. That means we wasn't wicked here because it was wicked. Because it was, then the punishment would have been just, wouldn't it? Do you read this stuff right? That means it was unjust. That means we wasn't here being punished. We're being oppressed and afflicted, like it says. They say you're going to be over there and you're going to serve them. You'll be punished for 20 years. They say we're going to punish. We'll be afflicted. That means be unjust. That means it wasn't only because we're sinful. It was because they're sinful. But Farrakhan twists around. He's accused us. You're telling you're sinful. You're telling you got to do this. I just on the F word, boy. Go, ooh. But now you start rising back up. Ooh, oh no, you got to get back. That's going to attack us. Because as soon as this war, when the forces goes down, we start coming together, they're going to attack us. If they flee, they're going to attack us. See? You, army, protect ourselves. It's tribulation. Then once we overcome them, that's from it transfers back home. Right? And then we're in the army anymore. And we're home. Back to where we were before. Better. If I was rubies and we turn back as diamonds. Sisters, look how beautiful they are. They not still walk behind us, they walk side by side with us. Because it says, let's make man and female. Male and female. Equal. Okay, employee, I think I'm going to close after. Well, let's see how far I go. Again, brothers and sisters, like I said, this house right here, this was been a castle or something. We didn't have that. We was in the fields. More likely had like a little room, a little closet. Everybody was forced in at night to lock in. My grandparents told me that. They locked them in a little shed room, no bigger than a small bathroom, no heat, anything. They locked the whole family, all the slaves up in there. They could fit in there. And you slept on top of each other. Did your bed on top of each other? It's locked in so you couldn't run away at night. Anyway, so here you are. You're in the field. Got your donkey to get you back and forth to your little shed wherever you live at. The master's furnishing, right? He buying your clothes for you. Right? He's getting you the mule. He's a taskmaster. Make sure you work. So then one day, master, hey boy, look, I'm good, master. You gotta be a slave. I'm making an employee. I'm gonna pay you $1 an hour. You're an employee now. You ain't gonna have no taskmaster. You're gonna be a supervisor. Right? So I'm gonna pay you now. So now you have to pay for that donkey. You have to pay for that room that you got. You gotta pay for your clothes and your food. You gotta pay for your own. I'll pay $1 an hour. So you work 8 hours, not enough to pay for all that. Man, I can't bother this in 8 hours. And you're working hard because supervisors make sure you work. I got to work 16 hours. Oh, you're back like where you was, right? 16 hours, but now you're doing volunteer because you got to pay for this stuff. The master ain't got to beat you anymore. You could beat yourself. Pay for this stuff. You work 16 hours. But then I got to pay that mule. I got to pay to rent that mule. I got to pay to rent that raggedy apartment they gave me. Pay to buy his clothes. I got to pay to buy his shitlings they was master buying for me. Right? And I got a supervisor, he watching me. See? Then you say, well, I can't. Man, I'm 69, 8 hours, still ain't enough. Man, okay, we got to pay for the rent, you got a mule, we ain't got enough to eat. Right? So what next? So then you got to put your wife out there. So now you got enough to make ends meet. Maybe. See the point? Only difference is you ain't a slave no more. You're an employee. You're an employee now. I ain't slave, I'm an employee. I pay for this stuff. Set it with your minds. Most of you buying it. Let's take a little further. Now, modern day. So now you're in a plant. Well, they don't call them plants no more, right? Because it's close to plantation. Factory. And your supervisor. Got your mule, oh, not mule. Got your car to get you back and forth to your apartment. Right? And you're paying for $10 an hour for whatever they pay you now, right? But it's not enough to take on all this. 8 hours. So now you're doing overtime. So now you're doing 16 hours a day. So you can pay for all this. But maybe you got a kid or something. And that's not enough now. So what you do? Hey, mama, you got your wife, your girl, whatever. She working Popeyes. You get it? That's exactly what's happening. So now, I got enough. She working 8 hours, you work 16. You working supervisor checking you. You gotta pay for gas in that car, you gotta pay for, you know what I'm saying? That's what Harriet Tubman said. He could have freed more if they knew they were slaves. If you knew you were a slave back when you had the fields, you don't know it now. You're still a slave. They just changed the name, and now you say, I'm free now. Free to do what? You're still a slave. They're still controlling how much that car work, all that stuff. So make sure you work 16 hours, you got to put it. You make it go for them, and they feed you shit. Symbiotic relationship. So what's the difference? The same thing. Just, you gotta get your mind back. We wasn't employees before we came here. We know about no employees, supervisors, taskmasters, working 16 hours, all that kind of stuff. We didn't do that stuff. It was healthy. It was strong. Not counting sentence deprivation, have got weaker and weaker. That's where religions come from because you lose the ability to understand how the universe works anymore. So you make up stuff. Same thing. Same situation. It wasn't like that before we came here. And everybody didn't live out in the suburbs. They said Jones was a suburb. That was suburbs. Some tribes live out there. Some people live in the cities. We have major cities, best cities in the world, best anything in Europe. Europe, they was eating shit. Disease. They had them out. They didn't have outhouses. They used to do their business in a pot and throw it out the window. That's why they have awnings. So you can walk on awnings and keep them getting the Holy Ghost. See, they had the shit and we had the gold. So they brought us over so we can get the gold and they give us the shit. That's what happened. We had the gold over there and they had the shit in it because all they could do is produce shit. And we produce gold. So they said they brought us over here and so they give us the shit and we produce the gold for them. They're still doing it. That's why I'm going to let you go. Because if you go, you take the gold with you and they just sit here left in their shit. They don't want you to know that. I'm not going to talk on this right now, brothers and sisters. I'm going to close out here because I think that's the last one. But anyway, let me see what I got left after this. Okay, yeah, I'm going to bypass that. I talked about it yesterday. So everybody, you understand the math of it. Math is pressure. Everybody gets the same amount of energy. I'm just leave it like that, brothers and sisters. Check it out. Same amount of energy, right? So this is us on the, because energy deprivation, we don't have enough energy because but we can say about energy. This is Caucasians; they don't need much energy. We right to maintain themselves. We need a lot of energy to maintain ourselves. We have a higher structure. We got mineral, we got all that. Okay, so what happens is, because energy deprivation, all the energy, we take all the energy is taken to maintain ourselves. But they don't need that much energy to maintain themselves. They got all this extra energy, so they can control the world. They can energy to control the world. We don't have energy to even control ourselves. They got control of the world. They got control of us too. We had them. We lost control of everything. Adam got control of the world. He got control of angels too. He got control of the world and the angels too. Is that simple enough for you? He got control of the world and Angel Smitty control of the angels too. Because energy deprivation. He's fighting with the jinn. Wasn't that the case? Ain't that the case? Hope you understand, brothers. I'm gonna leave it there. Now people wake up, this is what they're gonna be facing. And some of you may be facing it too. Because you sit around. Oops. That's it. What you can do, you ain't do anything else, right? You take this presentation and share with as many of your friends you can. At least you're doing something. Because everybody's going to know how much you know and when did you know it. That's what they're going to know. How much did you know and when did you know it? Because if people lost for lack of knowledge, well, who you think they're going to be wanting to blame somebody? It won't be me. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.